Perfect. Thank you. Well, till today, we discussed about the AD utilities and its features. What are the different options available? What are the different, features in the sense? So what are the different parameters we can provide where the log files exist? How do we monitor while it is running? So these things and all we have discussed. Now we are going into the, in detail of these utilities one by one. Let's start with the AD admin. This is one of the major utility which is having so many features. I already showed you. It's a command line utility, and in my previous class I have already showed you like what are the different options are available, and also those options and all we would be discussing one by one. Okay, so when it comes, first it's, generate application files is the first one basically. Just a minute. Sorry, yeah. So let's start with with these options one by one. Okay, so the first one is generate application file menu. Okay, so in this topic we would be discussing about, okay, again describing about AD administration, just a little overview and view the log files, a list file generation tasks that you can perform with AD admin. So what are the different, okay, this is the major option, and in that, what are the other different features are available, and the discussion about that. Okay, so that information and all we will discuss now. So AD administration. So in AD administration, we are having the other features like, file generation task, file system maintenance task, database maintenance task, database entities task. Okay, so that database administration and system administration related, some the different features are for a different this one. So normally, you don't need to use this utility standalone. Basically, very rarely you would be executing this utility standalone. So most of the times, these utilities you would be using as part of other activity. Like, okay, suppose this one of the patch introduced some 10 or 15 forms. So as part of post step, they would be asking you to regenerate form. So whenever you apply any of the patch, there is some scope to generate a invalid objects. So if you want to compile them, yeah, database side well. Okay, so you would be running the utlr.py. But application side, there is a parallel mechanism. Okay, so uh, parallel mechanism in the sense, so by using the workers, okay, you can execute, so which will go a bit faster. So application side, if you say, the AD utility itself is having a feature called compile app schema. So it would compile all the invalid objects to valid, and it will throw in. If anything goes wrong, if any of the invalid object not able to do that, it will throw an error in a bit detailed error in log file. So that's way. So sometimes you may need to run auto config as part of upgrade or migration or something. So something like, on different activities, these utilities will be attached as a post step or pre step. Okay, so very rarely you would be executing this utility standalone. All right. So preliminary task. First, you need to log into the application user. So this AD utility is completely dedicated to the data, application side. Okay. So first, you need to log into the application user, and you need to source the environment. Okay. So when you source the environment, then only it is. Then only your utility will be identified by the operating system. So shut down any middle tier process that would be affected by the actions to be performed AD administration. So not all for not all utilities you need to shut down. Okay, so suppose you are regenerating a form, you don't need to shut down. You are compiling app schema, you don't need to shut down. You are compiling I mean, you're validating app schema. You don't need to shut down. But some of the activities like regenerating the executables. Okay, it's nothing but relinking the application. So for that you need to bring down the concurrent manager. Okay, so when you are performing auto config, that is also one AD utility, right? When you are performing auto config, you need to bring down the complete application. So something like, some of the utilities require application system down. Okay, so most of the utilities, you can execute when the system is up and running. For example, AD ident is the utility you can execute. I mean, this downtime is not required. AD license manager downtime is not required, but splice downtime is required. AD splice is required downtime. Okay, so auto config required downtime. AD relink means relinking the application required downtime. Regenerating a form, regenerating a report, regenerating a jar file. This and all doesn't require downtime. Maintaining the snapshot also doesn't require downtime. Okay, so something like. So ensure some sufficient temporary disk space. Yeah, I mean, the disk space anyway. Operating system will be monitoring. Operating system people will be monitoring the temp disk space all the time, and whenever it is going to fill the threshold reaches, they will be getting some alert, and they will be cleaning the previous files, means old files. Okay. So what are the different prompts? We have already seen these prompts. Let's go through them again. Okay, so the first one is Apple Top. It will be asking, is this right Apple Top or not? Okay, name of the log file you need to give. Okay, you can prefer the email notification, yes or no. Okay, and next batch size you need to provide. The batch size is nothing but the performing the commit during the SQL operations. Like by default, the 1,000 will be coming, and each and every 1,000 transactions, it perform commit. Okay, this is the correct Oracle e-business database or not. Oracle Home it would be giving, and it will be asking whether it is right or not. And by default, whatever when it depends on the sourcing the environment. When you source the right environment, right Oracle Home, it will be displaying you, and you would be saying yes. And then system password you would be providing. Apple's password is nothing but app's password. Okay, so as I said, Apple's password and app's password both are same. Okay, wherever by in any of the activity, if any prompt you get like this, please provide Apple's password. Then safely you can provide app's password. Okay, whenever you change app's password, automatically Apple's password will get changed automatically internally. Okay, there is an utility. I said, as the later point we'll be discussing. It's not a AD utility; it's a normal utility. It's FNDC pass. There is an utility where you will be changing the passwords. You straight away you can't go to the backend and say alter user sysadmin identified by password, or alter user apps identified by password. You shouldn't use. Okay, so for all application user related password should reset from FNDC pass utility. Okay, so by using FNDC pass utility, if you reset the app's password, automatically Apple's password will be changed, and there is no provision to change the Apple's password. You never ever change Apple's password, and even FNDC pass also won't support Apple's password change. Right. Okay, we'll be seeing that. I'll give you some examples to change the system password. Sorry, sysadmin password, apps password. Okay, because you need to change as part of cloning. Okay. So next, log files. The main AD administration log files is called adadmin.log by default. This log will be in the base and EBS apps log adadmin location. The log folder will be there, and there it will be available. Okay, it will have the error information, basic error information about your AD administration if anything goes wrong, or the normal execution details also it will be having. It will be recording. Please hang on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, not only the error information, basically it would be giving the execution information also. Okay, so if the error information is not sufficient in adadmin.log, you would need to go to the worker log. Okay, in the same location you would be finding ad worker 001.log, and there itself, in the screen itself, you would be seeing like worker one. Okay, so and so file worker one failed, something like that. That the minimum information will be there in the admin log file, and the worker contain the little more information. Okay, so you can go to the worker log file and you can verify what exactly the issue. All right. Next. Other files is nothing but worker log file. So Apple top admin log, AD worker 00 dot, I mean, some 001 dot log, 002 dot log, something like that it will be. So basically, the main menu looks like this. When you say AD admin, and you would be asking what are the prompts I have explained. Those are prompts it will be asking. Okay, and after providing all the valid prompts, you would be seeing this AD administration main menu. In that, generate application file menu, maintain application file menu, compile or reload application database entity menu, maintain application database entity menu, and exit, and we would be seeing one by one. Now first let's discuss about the generate application file menu. Okay, so in that you would be seeing generate message file, generate form file, generate report file, generate product chart file. These are basically the application related file system regeneration. Okay, so there would be some message files where it displays the messages and all, and the product based message files and all, copied into one MSG file. Each and every product will have one MSG file in your folder. If you go to Apple top, I mean, yeah, I mean, PA top message, you'd be seeing pa.mesg is a message file. Okay, so these files it will be regenerating once again. Okay, so generate form file, I mean, we'll be discussing one by one. So generate message file. The task generate the message binary file. It's an execution extension is MSB. Okay, the Oracle application library. The business suite uses the message binary files to display messages. Okay, and each and every language will have the different message, because English messages will be different, Dutch message is different, and French message is different, right? So if you want to generate, whenever you are generating, it would be asking like what language do you want to generate, for all the languages or one language, all the character set or one character set. Okay, so for all products or one product, something like that it would be asking you. Okay, so there, I mean, depends on your inputs, so it would start working. It looks like this. Okay, so do you want to regenerate Oracle message files by using the character set, and it will be displaying the character set name. Okay, so it will be saying yes. And then depends on the languages also. Okay, so I mean, do you want the list of the product, for which product you want to execute? Okay, so if you say all, by default all will be there, and if you select all, everything will go. Okay, otherwise you can provide a PA space AP space some list of products you can give, and it will be creating that. Okay, next, form files. See, form files is little tricky basically. Okay, so the form executable basically. Okay, so the form executable is FMX is the executable. Okay, you would be having the same name form file with the FMB file. It's the I mean, FMB file is the code format, and FMX is the executable. So all your, if you look into your product, AU top, AP top, forms US, or PA top forms US, wherever you go, you would be seeing FMX. The relevant FMB file will be located in AUTOP forms US. Okay, so there in, I mean, AUTOP contains all the languages. I mean, sorry, all the product forms in a single location. Okay, sometimes you would be getting some request like that. Suppose that a technical person wants to customize the form. They need the existing form, right, to customize. Okay, whatever changes are required. So that time they will come and say, please. They'll give the form name. Okay, they would be knowing what is the form, what is the form description and form name, and they will give, this is the form I wanted. Okay, So you never share fmx file. So because fmx file is nothing to do with that, it's an executable, they can't edit it, they can't even open it. Okay, they can use it but they can't open the source code and all. So whenever they ask you, you need to provide fmb file. Okay, whenever any technical person asks, so you need to provide the fmb file. Okay, so you will be taking the farm name, you will be going to the utop farm cs location, pick the fmb file and give it to them. Okay, so once I mean, they will be changing whatever. I mean, they will be customizing whatever they required, and they take it. I mean, they will give that updated form to you. That same form you need to keep it in the AU top location only. Okay, so replace the, I mean, existing one with the new updated one, or you take the backup of existing one and replace with the new updated one, and then use this particular option to regenerate. Okay, in this option, we have multiple features are there. Like, do you want me to generate only one particular form or all the forms? So one particular product or all the products? One particular language or all the languages? Generate these forms basically behind this form, to support this form, the some of the DLLs will be there. PLSQL related file system also will be there. Do you want to generate them as well along with this? Yes or no? So these are the options it would be asking, and you can do. Okay. So in the same time, straight away you can execute. In the previous version, there is F60gen utility, and here something which starts with EF. I can show you. Okay, that there is an R12, there is a separate utility is there to generate the form, and by using that utility, if it is a one or two forms, you don't need to come all the way providing all the parameters and all, and selecting this feature, providing all the inputs. And so basically, if you are executing multiple forms, this option is feasible. But if you are executing, or if you are regenerating only one particular form, then that is right away you can use the syntax and you can execute it. I'll give you the syntax basically. Okay, but Oracle always recommend you to execute AD administration utility to regenerate the form. Basically, when you are regenerating a form, the app's password, it would be asking the app's password. This is the only reason the developers, they cannot generate the fmx file, because development apps password will be different, production apps password will be different. If they generate a fmx file in their environment with the apps password, and if they give it to you, and your apps password is totally different, then some mismatch will be happen and it will be screwed, it won't be executing. So that is the reason developers, they will be customizing whatever they want. Okay, as per their specification, they would be giving the fmb file to you. Okay, that fmb file you will convert as a fmx file with that particular machine app's password, and you will place in the appropriate location. If you use the utility will be placing in the appropriate location. You getting me? So these fmx files are system independent, basically instance independent. For the same fmx file. Okay, fmb file of the other machines also same, maybe the development one, development two, test one, test two, production, maybe, unless you do any changes separately. Okay, but fmx file is, even your fmb file is identical in all the machines. Fmx file will be different totally, because of the apps password. That is the reason I always insist you never ever share the apps password. If you are sharing the apps password, they themselves will work on that, and the entire things will be screwed up. Means your job will be in stake. Okay, so I'll show you. I'll show you. Yeah, if you see the character set, it will be asking number of products. It will be asking generate a specific form object is selected. Okay, by default, if you say yes, it will generate all the forms. Prompts number of workers. Okay, so if it is if you select only even if you select one farm, one worker at least will be working for this. So you need to provide number of workers here. Okay, and unless language. Okay, how many languages are there, and which language you want to generate, it will be asking. Character set, it will be asking. It will ask like, do you are also wanted to generate PLSQL libraries along with that form, or who are attached to that particular form. Okay, ask whether to regenerate the form menu files. Okay, the menu files are also the supportive files for any form. Okay, so it will be asking regenerate your form executables alone. Okay, anyway, we'll be creating the executable only, and ask for the product generate a form objects. The whatever generate specific objects is selected. When I show you, I mean, I'll execute it and I'll show you, you'll be understanding. Okay. Next, report file, RDF it is. Okay, here's the plain, pretty simple. Report is nothing but an executing the select statement and putting, keeping the output in a user-friendly manner. That is what report. Okay, so basically the report, the RDF files, it's a plain. There won't be any executable and all. Only RDF is RDF, and which contains your SQL files and designing related information. Straight away, it would be connecting to the database, executing the SQL file. I mean, the result will be shown as per your designer. The same thing, I mean, the report also will be asking one report or all the report, one product or all the product, one language or all the languages, and what character set, the same type of inputs it will be asking. Okay. Next, generate product jar files. Okay, so the jar files and all, I mean, right? I mean, the Java class files and all club together and it'll make a jar file. So the jar file will be, I mean, each and every product will have their own jar file. If you want to regenerate them, so the class files will be there, right? Okay, those files will be compiled once again and it will generate I mean, it will club together and it will generate a new jar file. Okay, so that is what this particular option. So generate message files, MESG files will be generated under your message folder in each and every product. Okay, generate form file. The FMX file will be generated by taking the source of FMB file. Generate a report file. RDF file will be regenerating. Okay, next generate the product jar file. Jar file will be regenerated. These are the options in generate application files. So any doubts till now? Correct. So basically, if you, I mean, make sure before you are performing something, make sure take a backup. Okay. Suppose you are generating a form, take a backup of only that particular form. If you are generating a form of one particular product, to take a folder backup, and if you are generating for all, you need to take a system backup, application, at least application backup. Okay, if you are executing, I mean, regenerating a report, to take a RDF file backup. Okay, in the same location you can put, I mean, file name underscore so and so date as a brief description. Okay, report files. So report files are nothing but RDF files, Mohit, basically. The reports and all, see, normally, if you go to select, I mean, if you go to SQL prompt and say select star from EMP, how do you get? It totally unorganized way you would be getting, right? Okay, so that, I mean, as a database administrator you would be understanding what is the result and all, but the layman, they can't understand that result, isn't it? So if you want to see that such a result in user friendly approach, like a color, columns and rows with a different colors and highlighting the headings and something like that, that and all, you can there is a report builder will be there, and with the help of that report builder they can design that, and there are so many tools are available. Okay, your Discover server is also having this feature. Okay, so there, they will be creating something, and I mean, they will be creating the RDF file accordingly. Okay, so that RDF file will be placed here. Whenever you execute any of the report, this RDF file will be invoked and it will be connecting to the database. So this RDF will have the information about the database. Particularly, report server will have the information about the database. So it will be connecting to the database, and yeah, it will be connecting to the database, execute the select statement, and provide the output to you. Yes, you're right. It's a kind of output providing. It's like every day you would be doing, like, if you go to you will be logging into the bank, and you will take the statement, right? Bank statement, 2 months bank statement, 1 month bank statement, and all. That's the report basically. Okay, so straight away, if you go to SQL prompt and say select star from my table at where account number equal to so and so, whatever result, we can't understand that result, right? So for that, for to make user comfortable, they would be creating some reports and providing to you. All right, next jar files is a purely Java file. Okay, so normally the sequence will be the .java file you will be creating. After that, when you compile it, the class file will be coming. When you club together, a jar file will be coming. So these jar files will be, the code file will be there anyway. The code will be compiled and create a class file. Class file will be combined and create a jar file. That would be happening. Okay, so in that list, the second one is maintain application files, and just remember, don't spend good amount of time in this AD administration and all. Okay, these features and all, you just need to know. Okay, suppose if somebody asked you to regenerate a form, the only thing what you need to know is, okay, there is an utility called admin, in that I can regenerate. Till that level is fine. So whenever you execute, the prompts will be giving, and the prompt you will be by seeing the prompt itself, you will be understanding what exactly the prompt would what need to be provided and all. Okay. The only thing is, the which utility for what purpose we are using. If you have it in your mind, that's more than enough. Okay. So nobody will be asking the in details of like. What are the prompts it will be asking that such a questions and all people won't be asking. So how do you regenerate a form? Oh yeah, by using AD utility. How do you relink the application? Yeah, there are two options. One is the AD utility, another one is the AD relink data set. Okay, how do you convert the character set? There is a feature in AD utility. You can, I mean, AD administration utility, you can do it. Something like that. Something like that you can tell. Next. AD admin to generate FMB file from which utility to implex FMX file from the technical. No. It's the other way around basically. Okay, FMX is the AD admin is to generate FMX file for forms. FMX file is the executable. Basically, you would be getting FMB file from technical team. Is it clear, Mohit? It's basically FMX file is an executable file, okay, which you would be generating by using FMB file. How to convert AD admin utility, generate a form. Okay, when you choose that option, generate a form. Okay, so it would be asking all the parameters, and the parameters would be, I mean, the by using the after providing the parameter, it will be. So in our practice, what would be, we will take a backup of one particular product form and all. Okay, and delete all the files and execute AD utility, whether it's just check it out whether it is executing or not. All right. I'll show in the next class. I'll be giving the demo. Okay, of these things. So next option is idiot maintain application files, and let's say, yeah, maintain application file. So it contains relinking the application program, copy files to destination, convert character set, maintain snapshot information, check for the missing files. Okay, so relinking the application is one of the very critical feature. I mean, critical utility here. Okay, critical option you can say. Why? Because it will be recreating the executable basically. Relinking the application is nothing but recreating all the executables. Okay, so here the problem with this particular utility is, whenever it is going to recreate some ABC utility executable is there, it will delete the ABC executable and then recreate it. It will not overwrite it. Okay, so in one scenario, it's deleted successfully, not able to recreate, screwed, right? Existing one gone, and it is not able to create. Okay, anyway, we'll be having backups in place, so we can get it from the backup, but it's a risky basically. Okay, so that is the reason, I mean, the backup is very mandatory for before executing this particular utility. If you are regenerating one executable, take a backup of that one executable, and if you are regenerating for a product, take a backup of the folder. If you are regenerating for all the product, take a backup of application complete. Okay, so basically internally, this guy, he will be using AD relink data sh. There is an utility, okay, AD relink data sh that when you execute this, that utility is being used. Okay, so you can also execute AD relink data sh separately. Okay, AD relink data sh. I mean, some syntax is there, and I'll be providing you that syntax. Okay, so how it would be basically, if you are creating an executable, the some source code will be there, right? You must be aware of C program. You will be creating a .c file. Okay, so when you are compiling, .obj file will be created. Once it is done, .exe file will be created, right? So this exe file got corrupted somehow. Okay, what you will be doing, you will delete the exe file, and again that c file will be compiled, and automatically obj and executable will be creating. So here the same thing. Okay, if you are regenerating any of the executable, the related source code will be there, and that's when you compile that source code, automatically another executable will be created. That's how it will be working. So here the source code of this executable is the .mk format. Means make is one of the utility is it's what do you call it is something like a Perl script. Perl is there, right? Perl, right? Shell programming, Perl, something like that. Make is one of the utility. It's a kind of development utility. So the complete source code will be there in .mk. The make, when you write any program in make editor, you'd be getting, when you compile it, I mean, you will be saving as a .mk file. Okay, so this relink utility, you'll be executing the data. I mean, it will be compiling the .mk file, and it will be creating the executable and place it in the appropriate location. So if you generate, this executable with the help of ad relink.sh utility manually, you need to take the output file, means executable file which has generated, and you need to copy to the appropriate location. So when you are executing through AD admin, you don't need to worry about the copying and all. Simply provide all the necessary parameters, and it will be creating. He knows where to keep. Okay, if it is a PA product, he will be keeping in a PA top bin location. If it is a AR top, account receivable, he'll be keeping in the AR top bin location, like that. So AD admin knows about this, and if you are generating manually by using the utility ad relink datasheet, at that point of time, it is your responsibility to take that particular file and keep it in appropriate location. Okay, the mandatory thing for this particular utility, take a system backup. Okay, and take the bring the concurrent node down. Concurrent server is mandatory to bring down, and normally some people will be bringing down the entire application, because it is when it is regenerating the executable, and if someone try to access that particular executable or try to make use of that particular executable, some conflict will be occurred. So that is the reason some of the people will be bringing down the entire application before. It's a bit critical activity, basically. Okay, so they would be bringing down the entire application, and then they will be regenerating all the. I mean, they will relink whatever product or whatever products are one file. Okay, they will be relinking, and they will bring up the application. Is that clear? The source code will be in a .mk format. It's generated with the make utility. It is something like a shell program. Next, okay, the relinking, whatever I have explained, it continues the same thing. Again, it will be asking the product key, and product list of products to generate a specific executable for selected product. That means you want to execute one product, one executable, or multiple executable. That means. Okay, next, copy files to the destination. See, there is some common location, as I said. In AUTOP is the common location. The common location, the whatever file system is the common location. That file will be copied to the relevant location. If you see, this task reads the product file driver files to determine the set of files to copy from the product tree. Okay, the common directory such as AUTOP is one of the common directory. Java top is one of the common directory. Java files are copied to the Java top. HTML files will be copied to the OAH underscore top, and media files will be copied to the OAM underscore top. Okay, so how do you know? I mean, how this particular utility knows? What are the product? What are the files belongs to that particular application? Okay, so for each and every product, will have the DRV file, basically, which is very important file. Is it? There is nothing to do with it. Just for your information only. That that DRV file, you won't be doing anything. You won't be regenerating. You won't be working on DRV file. Okay, that is the reference to the utility, basically, to for a patching utility or for AD admin utility, and that DRV file contain all the list of files which are related to the product. Okay, that particular product. So what are the file system? What are the different file systems are available? Okay, HTML files, form file, report file, everything, every file information you would be seeing in that location. Okay, location in the sense in the DRV file. So whenever you are executing auto config, whenever you are going for the migration and all, and if they wanted to know how many, what are the file system is available for that particular product, how many forms are there, how many reports are there, how many PLSQLs are there, everything, that you can get it from the DRV file. Okay, they'll fetch the DRV file and they will perform their activity accordingly. Okay, so they'll take the information from them and they will be copying the proprietor from the common. Java top is the common, and AU top is the common. So all the Java files will be copied to the Java top, HTML files will be copied to the OAH underscore top, media files will be copied to the OAM underscore top. Okay. Next, character, convert character set. Okay, it will be converting the character set from one to another. And as I said, this feature won't be. I mean, we won't be using this feature particularly because most of the e-business customers are on UTF-8. Okay, you won't be getting this requirement. Okay, skip this. Next, maintain snapshot. This is another important one. Okay, the maintain snapshot is another feature which you'll be getting along with the AD admin. Okay, so when you select the maintain snapshot, again you will be seeing some more options. Like these all options are belongs to the snapshot. I'm sorry, maintain snapshot. Okay, the list snapshot, update the current view snapshot, create a named snapshot, export the snapshot to your file, import the snapshot from the file, delete the snapshot and return to menu. Okay, basically the snapshot contains the history about your application. Okay, so how many files are there? Okay, so the list of products and the related files, their versions. Okay, the list of patches already applied to the particular instance, the entire information you will be seeing. The other day I have showed you a snapshot table. There is a snapshot table here, FND and AD underscore snapshot underscore files, AD underscore snapshot underscore bug fixes, AD underscore snapshot. Three tables, three major tables will be there. So based on your requirement, those tables will be updated. So update them in. So if you create if you choose to create a name or snapshot, what will happen? The snapshot on the specific name of the snapshot, all the list of the files, everything will be recorded once again, and will keep it safe. Okay, so why you need a snapshot at the time of patching and all for the pre-verification and all and the patching? See, there will be one file as part of patching. There will be one file you need to that file need to be copied to so and so product location. Okay, so they'll keep a constraint. Oracle will keep a constraint. If the file version is above so and so version, then copy to this location. Okay, if the file version is below the expected thing, then copy to the different location. Something like that. They will be defining some rules. Okay, at that point of time, they need to understand what is that version first of all. Okay, that thing you can get it from the AD. I'm sorry, FND, the snapshot tables. So you can create a snapshot here, you can update the snapshot. You think like, if you think like a couple of files have been updated or created or introduced, at that time, again, you need to run the snapshot to sync with the database basically. Okay, anyway, this people will be using for seeded the file system. Okay, export the snapshot for backing up and all, import the snapshot, delete the existing snapshot. Missing, what is the purpose of a snapshot? See, basically, that's what I told you, right? Suppose you are applying a patch, okay? When you are applying a patch, as part of patching, couple of actions will be there, like copying of files, generating files, copying of files, working with the database objects, something like that. Some activities will be there. So, as part of copying, it will be saying like, okay, or the file will be there, and in the patch, the rule will be defined like if the existing file system version is 2, then only copy, otherwise don't copy. Okay, 2.0 or something, then only perform copy, otherwise don't copy. Like that, such a kind of rule will be defined in the patching. So it should read, right? The patch AD utility, the patch utility should read the file and its version. Okay, it will be some pre-validation will be happen in the patching, and as part of that pre-validation, it will take the file and it will go to the snapshot and it will be verified. Okay, what is the version of the file? So and so. Okay, so if that version is matching, then go and copy. Otherwise, throw an error saying that patch snapshot updated, not updated. Okay, that contains basically the snapshot tables contains snapshot contains basically the file, all the list of files and the related to the products and its versions and the bug fixes as well. The bug fixes means the patches which have been applied till today to that particular instance, that also it will be picked up. It will be keep it. So as I said, the FND underscore snapshot contains this information when the snapshot has been created, when the snapshot has been deleted. Okay, so that and all you will be getting in the FND underscore snapshot, AD underscore snapshot table. Yes, AD underscore snapshot table. Okay, later AD underscore snapshot underscore files. Okay, there is another table which contain all the files and its versions, and AD underscore snapshot underscore bug fixes which contain the patch information. Here, bug is nothing but a patch in this language. So next, checking for the missing file. It will give the list of missing files basically. Okay, what are the files have been missed out and something. You never use this option anyway. Okay, next, maintain database entities. List the maintain entity tasks, okay. Validate app schema, regenerate grants and synonyms, maintain the multilingual table. So these are the options that are available basically. Validate apps schema, regenerate, recreate a grants and synonyms for apps schema, check a GL table and read. Okay. So basically, validate app schema is nothing but identifying the invalid objects. Okay. When you execute this validate app schema, it would be giving one LST file in that location. Okay, that LST file contains the list of invalid objects basically. Okay, the same thing you can get it from the backend, like select, you can say, you must be aware of this. When you say select start from db underscore objects where status equal to, right. So when you execute whatever output, you would be getting the same output. When you execute this valid app schema, you would be getting the same thing. Okay, so it's a regular practice basically. Oh, where it went. Yeah. Yeah. So this taking the invalid backup, compiling, verifying the invalid backup, compiling is a regular practice basically. Whenever you are touching any of the, when you feel like you are touching your database objects, then you have to keep an eye on invalid. Okay, because suppose um, there's a view need to be created. Okay, let's say why invalid object will be generated. Why the object status will be invalid. I'll tell one scenario. Okay, there is an activity where you need to create a table, okay, and then you need to create a index. On top of that, you need to create a view. By using this table, you need to create a view basically. Okay, so when you, okay, at the time of creating, okay, this sequence of steps you have executed, and at the time of creating, by chance, the table have not been created. Okay, so obviously index also won't be created, but the view will be created. The only source code, right? The view will be created, but that view status will become invalid. Why? Because the code is there. In that code, you have mentioned so on, select so and so data from so and so table. Okay, if the table doesn't exist, that will be invalid. Even the course, the code is perfect. Since the listed table is not available, then the status will become invalid. Okay, see, when you compile, okay, so later you can say you can create that particular table and compile the invalid object to valid, then it will try to compile and it will verify whether the table exists or not, and then it will make it as a valid. Okay, so this is the way, I mean, by using, before performing any of the database activity, personally, nobody will be telling you. Okay, no, I mean, no document will be telling you that take a backup of invalid and all. But it is your responsibility to make sure that, the execution part doesn't added any new invalid object. Okay, suppose you are executing you are applying a patch. So before applying the patch, invalid count is 2, and after applying the patch 20. So 18 invalid objects come, right? So the functionality attached to that particular object will be invalid, deactivated. The impact of the invalid is, suppose a package become invalid. So when you try to access the package, that doesn't work because due to some reason that become invalid. It's not able to keep up. Okay, a view become invalid. So when you execute that view, it won't return any view. I mean, any data. Packages, package bodies, synonyms, triggers. Okay, this and all, you can, all the information you will be finding in the DB underscore objects. Okay, so before performing that activity, we need to take a backup of invalid, take the list of invalids. After performing the activity, the existing list, okay, before performing the activity, 4 invalids are there, and after performing the activity, 4 invalids are acceptable because it's already aware. You people, team and customer, everybody will be aware of that, and they will be making sure that there is no use of that particular object, so let it be invalid. They might decide like that. After applying the patch, if you look into the invalid objects, the same 3 can be there, but apart from 3, if anything else come, that you need to take it serious. So for that, as per the e-business suite, they will be saying here, execute validate app schema. In the next screen, you will be seeing compile app schema also. Okay, and then compile app schema. It's clear, right? Before performing the activity, you would be executing the validate app schema to fetch what are the invalid object. After performing also, you would be executing this validate app schema to fetch the list of invalid object. You will be comparing both of them, and you will be understanding how many new invalid have been introduced. Okay, as an initial step, you would be regenerating those invalids once again. It will try to compile it and try to make it as a valid. And if it doesn't, you have to do the troubleshooting. Okay, that's the regular way. So what I personally do is, I don't want to go to AD administration, provide all the number of the all the number of inputs and all, and I don't have such a patience, and I'm totally habituated to different method. So it's not like every apps DB will be doing like this. It is my approach basically. If you like it, you can also use that. Okay, so what I'll be doing, before performing the activity, I'll create a dummy table. Create a table, invalid underscore 2807 as select start from db underscore objects where status equal to. My problem is when I execute when I execute this AD administration utility, it will be creating the LST file. LST file is a text file, and later also it will be creating another LST file, which is a text file, and I need to take a printout of that, and I need to put together, and I need to verify with the file. This, file one contains so and so, file two contains so and so. That kind of validation, or you may need to go for the WinDiff and the file difference utilities are available in the market. I generally sometimes I use WinDiff utility. So by using the WinDiff left side one left panel one file, right panel one file, and it will be giving you like the colored one and some difference and all. It will be showing by showing the color and so that's seriously it's a painful job, right? Comparing two files is a painful job. As a database administrator, compiling two tables is a fingertip for you. So I always prefer the comparing these objects by using, with my select statement. Okay. So before performing the activity, what I would be doing is, create a table, invalid sound. So as select start from db underscore objects where status equal to invalid. Okay. So next after that, I'll be performing the activity, whatever activity. DB related activity only. Otherwise, it won't. There is no chance of creating the invalid object. Once I'm done with that, I'll be saying select and start from DBA underscore objects where status equal to and object underscore name not in select object underscore name from invalid underscore 2807. That's it. So it will be giving it will just simply compare the existing one and the previous one, and it will give the new invalid option. That's it. Okay, even if it is one or two, if you wanted to compile, you can straight away compile basically. Okay, alter package package name, compile. If it is a package, alter package compile body, package body. If you want to compile, view alter view compile. Okay, something like that. If one or two invalid objects you found, so you can compile it, and if once it is done, you can. If you feel like it's compiled with warning or something, immediately you say show error. It will be showing the error. Okay, take that error again. You need to do the sound troubleshooting procedure. Something like that. If one or two are there, you can do that. Or if you find 20 or 30 invalid objects, you can go with the validate app schema. Or also you can use either, to compile validate apps schema in variant utility or run utilrp. Execute this. This guy also will be doing the same thing. He will be identifying what are the invalids and he will be doing that. Either this way, from the database side, if you want to do this, you will be doing this. From the application side, if you want to do it, you will be doing this. Okay. Next, okay. So validate means just it will give the list of, it won't compile, it will just give the list of invalid objects. Okay. Next, recreate grants and synonyms. Okay, basically this is the apps schema basically is the one of the major schema, as I said, where you can access any of the object. Okay, see, basically app schema doesn't own any of the object. Okay, you will not have any object. So the thing is, the apps will have the access of each and every object. Okay, he can do whatever, all the grants will be there. So you can simply update a pa table, drop ar table, and insert some rows, delete some rows, all the dml operations they can perform. Okay, by using app schema. So all the time, people will be connecting to the apps schema only, and then they will be performing. Even at the time of patching also, you'll be connecting to the apps. So through apps only, the patch related for the database objects will be introduced. If you want to, okay, as I said, this particular apps schema contains access for the each and every other object. So if you want to regenerate them, you can generate, recreate grants and scenarios for apps schema. If any of the major changes happen to your e-business suite by developers and all, that time you can revert back to the, or you can establish the special connection, new connection. Check a dual table. It's a very simple thing, and it's nothing to do with the business suite also, because the dual table will be used in a different coding and all. Okay, so even even in the forms or reports or wherever, people might have used. Means Oracle also might have used this dual table. So dual table should contain only one row. Okay, so you need to make sure that that particular row, only one row is there, or multiple rows are there, and if multiple rows you find, you may need to drop. You need to delete the row. Okay. So yeah, it's out location. You would be getting .lst file, as I said. It's Next, compile or reload database entities. So here you would be seeing compile apps schema, compile menus, compile flex field, compile jar files to the database. So app schema, as I said, it will compile. It will try to make the invalid objects to valid. Okay, compile menu information. So basically, in the sysadmin, definitely we will be discussing about this menu on that. Okay, so whenever you click any of the responsibility, whatever you are getting, those will call as a menu and menu items. Okay, so menu can be menu for another menu, like menu main. It's a tree, like okay. The menu under that, whatever it is there, and that will call as a menu item. So under menu item, if any other options are there, that is called as sub items. Okay. So this menu, regenerating the menu, or the creating a new menu. Okay. So assigning to that particular responsibility, that part and all would be seeing in the sysadmin part. Okay, so once we create a new menu, after creating, no, you won't be deciding to create under. So they will be asking, means the developer will be giving you the code and they will ask you to execute, I mean they will ask you to execute some that particular code to create some menus. Once you introduce your new menu, okay, so then it's mandatory to come to the area administration and execute this compile menu information so that it will be in sync with the e-business suite. Okay, the flex fields also the same thing. It's a form customization place. So it will be coming like there are two types of flex fields: a key flex field and reflective flex field. So key flex field is nothing but the option button, I think, and the another one is a checkbox. Okay, so the instant customization part and all will be by using the flex field, people will be different. Okay, anyway, the flex field concept is totally the developer concept. They'll be changing something on the flex field, and they will be customizing or updating something on the children to sync with the e-business suite. They will ask you to run they will ask you to compile the flex field. Yeah. Next, reload the jar files to the database. Okay, so all the jar files, the information would be updated to the database basically. Okay, yeah, we'll do something. Yeah. That's all, guys. Okay, this is the AD utility basically. Tomorrow, the non-interactive. These are the other utilities we will be discussing later in the next class. So tomorrow I'll be showing you the demo of this. Some of the AD utilities I would be executing and I'll be showing you. Okay, tomorrow next non-interactive. What are non-interactive mode? Definitely not required. Management utilities. Okay, AD controller will be see. Okay, actually tomorrow we'll be discussing about AD controller also. Okay, so the controller and AD utility both will do the practice. Once AD controller is over, AD link person. Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. I mean, in the next class we'll be discussing some 5-10 minutes. We'll be discussing about AD controller, and then we'll move it to switch to the practice. All right. Any doubts, Tina? Any doubts? All right. If none are there, then we can, yeah, fine. Okay. So we can wind up the class and I'll share the video and I'll upload the video. Makes this class. Okay. And see you tomorrow. All right. Yeah. Bye. Have a nice day.